on the computer. Perfect. Hi, guys. Good to see all your smiling faces this evening. I know there's a little confusion last week because everybody thought it would, oh, every other week, and there's an extra week thrown in there. So we didn't have a Zoom last week. So if you happened to show up last week, I apologize. But I hope you got my email, of course, saying we wouldn't be there and that, of course, we would be here on this day. And we have one more on the 24th. So this is our first one technically for June. And today is already June 10th. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun. So I wanted to make sure that we started off this evening talking a little bit. Remember, no product. Remember that. You guys know that by now. But that we talk about, if anything of product questions, I don't care. Text me individually, right? Because I get that all the time. What do you recommend for this? It's, I don't mind that at all. But I want to make sure we can utilize this space to help you guys in the business aspect of that, right? To be able to grow that. So I want to start off by doing just a Q&A with what questions are you having in regards to growing your business, whether it's around events or patching parties or blitzing or charting or list making, like all of the things we do in our business. What questions are you having around that? Is it supporting your team, helping them grow? What tips or techniques or tools or strategies do you need? Oh, there's a good one. All right, Pat. Pat says, and you can type them, that's totally fine too. What reports do you look at each day? So I log into my back office and I look at my organization. And I go to, of course, well, before that, there's the center box, right? View promotion details. And which I wake up every morning paid as senior presidential director, so not me. So let's just say, for example, Brent, okay? Let's say Brent, because his manager on his left side is, we got to make sure that person stays qualified, okay? So I'll look at his box in the center. And like, for example, this morning, I'm on the airplane, prime example, and I look at the box and it says he's not paid as director yet. And obviously he's a presidential director. So I'm like, well, what's happening that he's not paid as director this morning? So I click, and one of his ladies, she's over in the UK, that's just a customer, silver pack or gold pack, actually, she's finally at gold. She was not qualified. She had upgraded to gold last month with the promo we had. And so this month, she needs 55 BV. So I go in there and I send her a message. Hey, Deb, just wanted to let you know, you can, take advantage of, one of the maintenance packs, or, if there's anything else you need, blah, blah, blah. So she places her order for 55 BV, boom, good to go, right? So that's what he needed on that left side for him to pop up to not only director, but obviously all the way up to presidential director. So that box in the center will tell you immediately what you click on. From there, let's say, for example, he has a director on his right, okay? Not outside of Trey, a different director. And say that person is not maintaining their director. So I go to organization, binary tree viewer, and I type in her name, okay? And so I click on her box in the center. Do you guys all picture this with me, or do you need me to screen share? Can you guys all see this? You're good? Okay. In your mind's eye, you know what I'm talking about. So I click on her box. I click on view profile. For her, I want to see her profile, and then I click on next rank, and I can see right there exactly what she needs. Screenshot. Hey girl, just wanted to let you know it's Monday morning. You need one person on your left to have 55 BV, and your manager on your right is not paid as manager right now. Do you know what your manager needs in order to be paid as manager? So you're paid as director? That's what I do on Monday morning, okay? So I go through personally key people, right, that I've personally enrolled that, are not yet there, or they were, and they're not, because Monday mornings, a lot of times you wake up and someone's order, because remember, we're running off of a 30-day cycle for their qualification, and then of course the weeks go by. So there's always, like this with people, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if you're not that rank on Monday morning for some reason. That just gives you the cue to go in to your back office, look what you need. I did what I need. Now, what do my people need? So I find them in there, or if you have their login information, then obviously you can log into their account and click on theirs. But I don't have most people's login information. So I just go right into my back office because it's easier than logging out of mine, logging back into theirs. I can just go to their name in the tree viewer and click on the profile and screenshot it to them. So that's what I do every morning, Monday morning, especially. And I think Laura talked about that in depth on our last one before too, on what we do. But outside of that, I don't click on any other reports on a daily basis. It's just making sure that ranks are where they need to be. And I don't like to bug people about it either. I think it's important to show this to your people in the beginning. I think it's important that you know, right? And you're teaching your people that, hey, this is what we look for on Monday morning, and keep that in mind. If they're like, okay, whatever, she's not ordering, I'm not doing it, I'm not adding somebody new. Like, I'm not going to go hound somebody, right? I'll go, okay, well, that manager's not quite ready to grow. All right, well, we're not going to push her. I'm not going to push him, help him where he is. So then my mind goes, okay, I want to need a new manager on this side, someone that doesn't want to just maintain manager. They're like, oh, got it, no problem, I'll get that order in and let's grow beyond that, right? So, and then Gina says, curious if the audio, skipping. No. Okay, good. What is the best way to check in on your people after you have patched them up? Laura, you're really good at this. Would you want to share how you check in with them after you've patched them or sold them patches, got them started patching?
Sure. I mean, there's some variants, I should say, to that, you guys. If I'm at an event and I've put 1x39 on them and I haven't either seen them again or they just went ahead and decided to go home, the minute I leave that event, I text those people and I share with them how nice it was for them to come by our booth, how great it was to meet you. And I can't wait to follow up with you in the day or two to see how you're feeling from your patch. Like, I just don't pounce on them. They're trying to wrap their brain around it, but I always let them know I'm coming back around. Okay. But I want to thank them for visiting our booth, right? If I have sent them samples, the minute I send them samples in the mail, for instance, before those samples even get to them, I'm inviting them to a something. Hey, I really want you to get on my colleague's Q&A tonight. You're going to have more of an idea what's coming in the mail, right? And they're really into, oh God, that's a really good idea. I should probably do that, right? And then they will jump on, okay? After the 5 days, when they tell me they haven't felt anything, I say, that's fabulous. Most people don't. And that just kind of calms them right down to say, tell me what you do, Laura. Why are you patching? What do you use? And once they hear you share short, brief, why you're using them, they'll go, okay. And I go, now listen, don't do this if you're just going to do it for 30 days. You're 75. Like, no, I'm going to do it for the 90, 120 days that you told me. I'm going all in. That's they're all in at that moment, you guys. And then we just sign them up. But it's just letting them know you're always coming back around. And it's not always about, are you ready to order your patches? You don't want to come from that angle, right? Just don't come from that. See how they are. How are they feeling about it? What questions do they have? Remember, don't sell, listen. Because if you listen, they're not buying the product, you guys. They are buying you and your support and your care. And then everything else just kind of falls into place, or I feel like it does. Is that good?
That is excellent.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys have read the book Go Pro by Eric Worre. It's an old one, right? But he talks about at the end of the day, you got to get their questions answered. So if you're on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm ready to buy today, I'm in,
Dean's got it
up, then I'm a 6. Well, what questions do you have to make that, for me to answer, to make that 6 a 10?
Yeah.
well, how much does this cost? Boom. Okay, done. Okay, well, how long am I going to need to use it? Or what are the results I can expect? Or you need to know what questions they have to get the 6 to the 10. You answer their questions and you're like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is like, here's my credit card. What other questions do you need to answer? Sometimes we know this all well. If it's a female, it may be, I got to talk to my spouse, my significant other, right? If it's a man, he's throwing you the credit card because he's not going to ask. Women should take that advice and not need to go ask. Just throw the credit card down if you want to buy it. Have that same equal. No, okay, we're not going to get into that right now. But I would say, well, at least, Brenda thinks that's funny. Doc J's laughing at that. But I would say, you guys, just keep that in mind on a scale of 1 to 10. 10's buying. Where are you? And not that 10's buying, but 10's like, I'm ready to get my patches right now. Let's get this going. What questions do I need to answer for you? Lisa, I need you to, oh, go ahead. Did you have something else?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Stacey, I can't remember who said it on a Zoom, but it was a lesson learned. And this is the beautiful thing about this. This is how we learn things not to do or to do. Somebody was ready to purchase. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign up. I'm going to go ahead and start. No. Let me send you some samples.
Oh yeah.
Please don't ever say that.
Yeah, somebody
Take
shared
your
that.
credit card immediately. And don't wait to put it in, you guys. Don't wait. Like the minute you have that information, you get that order in, because there is a good chance, like Stacy said, that they get home and, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just bought this light technology and I'm going to feel so much better. And somebody goes, I cannot believe you're going to buy that stupid thing. What happens if the order's not in? They call you up because now they think it's a stupid thing and they say they want to wait. Right? It's better to talk them through it if they have a concern after you put them in than them just calling you and say, no, don't put me, just put them in. Put them in and then talk them off the ledge, right? Just talk them off the ledge. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Lisa, you said, can you give me some tips and insights on how to coordinate paid events so the folks attending are already interested versus events where we are getting people who walk by? And can we get you on your calendar to speak at them? So can you elaborate on that? What do you mean, tips and insights on how to coordinate paid?
Well, let's say we, rented a small community rec room or something, and it's $10 to come and attend, and when you get here, we're going to patch you or something like that. So you're actually getting people that are interested to come and learn about the technology versus just having an event where you're trying to get people walking by. So you already have an audience that wants to be there and hear about it versus, I mean, the events are good, but I would really like to start looking at those and so that's it, just like another angle.
So you're saying you want people to pay to come to a wellness event to hear about it?
Mm-hmm. Like let's say that let's just say, it's here's a link, it's $10 to come, you're gonna learn all this stuff, and while you're here, you're gonna get, patched, for free or a sample or something. So they're coming because they want to be there and they want to learn. And then when they pay $10, they're kind of like, I'm not saying it's $10, but whatever that would be, they're going to come to the event because they want to be there, not because we just have a booth and, they're just walking by us. So Lily and I were talking about it, like, how do we start looking at coordinating those where, they're already interested and you're getting them all together. So I know that we probably have them in different areas of the country, probably on a bigger scale than we're ready to have, maybe things that Team Evolve is just coordinated, but just looking at that option as well.
I mean, I've never done anything like that where I've had someone pay to come and hear me speak and teach about the product or the technology. I've done lots of, vendor events and stuff too. I mean, people may have to pay to get into that event to the coordinator, but I've never taken payment personally for someone to come hear about the technology.
So when you guys have events like, LifeWaves coming to Phoenix or North Carolina or wherever you go, those are events where you have people actually register RSVP
Those are
to
brand
go.
partners. Those are brand partners that are signing up to come to learn, to hear. Yeah. So
And
there,
then bring your interested parties, that type of thing.
yeah, for the
Okay.
most part, the majority of our events have always been free. Like last
Mhm.
year, we charged nothing for no event.
Mhm.
This year, our two Florida events, the venue is
Mhm.
quite large for the number of people we're pulling in. So, last year there were four of us that split the cost of
Mhm.
the event. So it was about 10 grand out of pocket for the four venues per person that we split.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, for you guys to come
Okay.
for free. This
Yeah.
year, because of the growth, we've had to secure larger locations, which have cost much more money for our two Florida events. So we have included a small fee to be able to cover just the cost of the venue. But
Mhm.
it's still the same people, leaders coming, content. David was obviously there back in, we had 1,200 people though. I mean, it was $35,000 for that venue for that day. So the
Mm.
money that we collected just covered the cost of that
Great.
venue for the day. But as far as me doing an event, like when I go to Tampa or, Indiana,
Mhm.
or, other places, Kansas City, we don't charge for those events
Mhm.
for people to
Okay.
come. Yeah, if you want to, I mean, I don't know, you can do whatever you want to do. I've just never personally done that. I feel like I want people to come, that want to learn, that want to hear, but that
Mhm.
needs to come from invitation, where
Yeah.
whether say you go to, for example, Mark and Catherine had a holistic grocery store, wellness grocery store, right? Health food store.
Mhm.
And so they went to the owner and they're talking about the technology. This would be, something fantastic to be able to share with your population that come here that's very into holistic healing. Can we do an event in your private room? And they didn't
Mhm.
charge for it, but the
Mhm.
guy owner agreed to advertise all of
Okay.
what they were doing to drive his clientele from the grocery store into the event, which was
Mhm.
successful. I think they had 5 or 6 people sign up and show up and sign up.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
not saying
So it's probably something more along the lines of like what you just said, advertise for, maybe push it out a little bit so you have time so people can be aware of it
somebody
and
needs
get
to
it.
be word of mouth sharing it.
Yeah.
Like even the big huge flyer they had in the grocery store is not going to sell the event.
Mhm.
They're going to have conversations, the workers there, the employee, whether it's a salon or a spa or a chiropractor's office, someone needs to be selling it. It's
Mhm.
just not
Yeah.
always going to be the best. This is not always the best thing for just to tack up a flyer or, put out an ad and have people pay to show up.
You
You
got
need
to
the
have the word of mouth.
yeah, you need the human energy.
Mhm.
That human energy exchange is what attracts the people to come.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too, like Laura said, they're really buying you and that connection to you. So if you're saying, I want more people, I need to expand my network, I need to find more people. Leah's done, Leah, Jody, and Alicia did one recently. Leah's built her whole business on events, and we've talked about this, of course. But they did one on events just here recently. It's pinned to the top of the team page. So if you want to meet new people, going out, finding groups, BNI. BNI is an excellent source. I built my whole business back in Indiana before we had social media from BNI. Meeting people in person. When I moved down here, I continued that It Works business with BNIs, chambers, women's networking groups, luncheon groups, young professionals groups. Even though I was in my 40s, I pretended and they let me in. So young professional, I joined groups, networking groups of people to have other referral sources. You meet with them, you have one-to-ones, of course we have something everyone wants. You got to make new friends and make them fast.
Mm.
So that's to me, that makes more sense if you pulled from your current, source of people and you're like, I need to find new people. Networking groups are where it's at. Meetup groups are
Mhm.
where it's at. There's tons of people.
Yeah.
Go away from your house. Sometimes people want to stay like right here. This is my area. When I was in BNI for years, probably the first 6 years I lived down here before COVID, I was in BNI. I drove 45 minutes to go to my BNI chapter and 45 minutes back home. I didn't go to my BNI chapter that was here local because I'd see some of those people like at my son's ball games and stuff like that. I wanted people in other communities, other areas, and then I would sub in other chapters, right? I joined women's networking chambers in Venice, which is almost an hour away, because I
Yeah.
wanted to connect with other people in other communities. So it was extremely successful.
Okay. All right, good deal. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Dr. Ray says, can you share what you do or say to shift the mindset of a high performing unilevel mindset, sponsoring lots of silvers, to a binary tree, gold and above mindset? So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You may want to hop on here, Dr. Ray, and kind of summarize that for me, maybe in a different way.
Sure.
What do you say to shift the mindset of a high performing unilevel?
So they are sponsoring lots of silvers, and in the previous organization, the previous network marketing organization, that was the emphasis on sponsoring and going wide and just sponsoring and versus building building their team, building as Peter calls it, bodybuilders. The focus in a previous organization, which many of us I'm sure have been associated with, the emphasis is really on sponsoring. And I'm not necessarily speaking of any particular person in particular, but I know there are some I've witnessed in my organization, there are a number of folks that are focusing on sponsoring and not necessarily focusing on building. So making the shift from sponsoring to building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share with you what I do. Sponsor and build. And my Zoom agrees. You don't want anyone to stop sponsoring. I always bring in new people, even if they are silvers. I don't care. I don't know when you're going to turn into a gold or a platinum or a diamond or decide to build, if you ever do. And if you don't, that's fine too. I'm happy to have customers for life. Woo, that's some great residual, right? So I'm all about bringing in tons of people. Okay, I've enrolled over 500 people personally between my account, Trey's account, and Brent's account. So I'm always gonna sign up new people. I'm always looking to grow and help people build an organization. And I think it's very important that when you find someone that says, how can I get this to my mom? How can I get this to my cousin? This is really working for me. I want to share with other people. Whether you've had MLM background or not is irrelevant, because sometimes that MLM background, you decide you want to pack it up in a neat little case, briefcase, man satchel, purse, and bring it with you and pretend like it is relevant in this business, right? Which you just said, unilevel versus binary. A lot of that stuff you picked up in previous MLM may not apply here. There's a lot of good skills and probably experience and wisdom you gain. I want you to bring that. But I want you to take the way you built that business and let that go. I want you to lock arms with the people that want to grow. So if you say to me, I'm ready to share with people, then I'm locking arms with you. You're on my phone. You have my cell. We're on text. We're booking, we're doing patching parties. We're on the phone. I'm answering questions. You've got me in three-way chats. That's what I want to do. When someone says, I want to grow, I want to help them grow. And I'll tell you what I tell my people that I've personally enrolled. We've got to do some events. We've got to get in front of people. Like, I'm your girl. You're their guy. I want to get in front of your people. So let's do a patching party, wellness webinar. I don't care what you call it. Let's do it in person. Let's do it online, depending on where you live. Obviously, if you don't live around me, we can't do it in person immediately. So we're going to do it online. Right? I've got a brand new brand partner. Tomorrow night, we have a Zoom launching a group of people, right? Patching party with people. Wednesday night, we have another patching party. She wanted to do 2 different groups of people. One side of the family, the other side of the family. So we're launching her tomorrow and Wednesday with 2 30-minute patching parties. I made the invite. She made the list. She sent it out. They're coming together. I'll do the talking. She'll share her personal testimonial why we're here, and I'll answer their questions. So if you got those people and they're bringing on lots of people, Dr. Ray, what I would tell them is you tell this person that's you're signing up tons of silvers. Let's get these silvers on a patching party or wellness webinar. Why don't you ask these silvers, which are brand partners that are wholesale customers using the patches, let's get them on a patching party, me and you and them, and let's ask them to bring some guests and we'll share some information with them. Teach them how to grow from the behavior. The behavior is putting them in the room. Remember from GoPro, right? I used to go out to Vegas for his events. The people that put the most butts in the seats make the most money. And we can't all put the most butts in the seats in person because we may not live by people. We put their butts in the seats on the Zoom. And that's how you help them grow and expand. You say, this is what we're doing. Because that's what my girl said to me. She goes, okay, I'm ready to go. What do I do? I said, make a list. She goes, okay, what do I do? I said, pick a date and time that you want to invite these people to a patching party. She goes, okay, what do you have available? I told her what I had available. She picked the time. She goes, I want 2 different times. Is that okay? I said, you can have 10 times. I don't care. However many times we can get these people together, as many people as you want to get together. I'm going to do as many of those patching parties as you want. You want to do one a day for the next 25 days, 365 days? I'm your girl. Let's do it. You want to keep repeating that behavior. Put the butts in the seat. Let's talk to them. That's excitement. You know what happens is they learn from repetition. They hear you. You guys saw me last Wednesday with Laura and I batted back and forth that health tracker, right? You can pull that right up on your screen. You can read right from that. That makes you sound so intelligent. And you are intelligent because you can read. Because that's all you need to be able to do in this business is read, right? That's it. There's a handful of us that are doctors, right? Professionals, whatever. It does not matter, right? My last 2 companies, I built to the top of the company, making millions of dollars with no DR in front of my name. You don't have to have that to be successful. You have to have consistency in the right behavior. And the right behavior is getting them to attend and inviting people. That's the right behavior.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for that question. Now that I understand unilevel mindset, binary mindset, we want both, right? We want them to add as many people as possible. And we also want to find those ones that do and grow. I love it. Oh, cool. Leah, you guys are reading GoPro right now. It's too funny. I mean, it's priceless. It really is. Priceless, priceless, priceless. Okay, so me reading more questions. Let's see. I think you guys are good. Just reading down. Okay, perfect. Bill and Deborah, thank you. Can you speak to placement of newly sponsored people when you sponsor a whole lot of people personally? Yes, this is why you get to know your binary. Is there a strategy that should be followed that would be most beneficial? I'm going to tell you what I learned from the very beginning. So you always sponsor bottom right or bottom left. Okay, so you're saying, should we let them just system place them at the lowest level? It is not a low level. Okay, imagine this. If I have over 40,000 people in my organization, they're not going to go anywhere near the top anymore. That top spot goes to Brent, and this top spot goes to Lindsay. That's it. The rest of the people all go down the right or left leg somewhere. Okay, so you don't ever think that's the unilevel mindset that says I want to keep them all to the top, right? I was in somebody's back office today. She's a brand new manager, and she goes, I don't know. I think this person may be in the wrong spot. So I open up her back office and I'm like, oh my God, you clicked all the boxes and just kept putting people on the screens you could see in front of you. And she's like, yeah, we just kept clicking plus signs. I'm like,
Ugh.
This has been more than 5 days. Yes. Okay. They're there for life. Sorry. Note to self. So click on your name, click on change settings, pick left or pick right. Organization, enroll new. Let the computer drop them to the bottom right or the bottom left. It doesn't matter. You enrolled them. They are your level 1 because you enrolled them. If they are 40,000 levels deep, they are your level 1 because you enrolled them. So it does not matter. Let's make sure that's really, really, really clear. Okay. And then as far as placement of them, okay, when I'm looking at what do I want on my right and on my left, initially you guys all want a manager on your right and a manager on your left, okay? Now, some of you are on shared legs. I'm not personally on a shared leg. So I don't have anyone above me putting people below me. April's above me. April doesn't have anyone above her putting anyone below her either, which would obviously be me on this left leg. And she doesn't have anyone working, adding to her right leg either. Okay. So we understand not being on a shared leg. But if you are on a shared leg and you're looking at that volume and you're going, man, that volume over there, you know, there's a lot on there. I'm just going to stay over here on my left. This is my right. Okay. By the way, so say your right volume is like, 40,000. You're like, oh, I'm only going to put people on my left. You will make big, epic fails in this business. Pretend that you have nobody putting anyone anywhere in your mind when you were thinking about how am I going to maximize this compensation plan. To maximize this compensation plan, yeah, I need a manager on my right that I personally enroll, and I need a manager on my left I personally enroll. I want to help them, if not them, somebody else, but let's just say it's them. I want to help each of them get to director. So director on my right, director on my left, okay? If you stack this left leg because there's volume over here banking on the right, you'll never get to director. If you're just stacking your left leg to try to cash out cycle, you're chasing pennies instead of dollars. Okay, you got to think big picture, forward thinking. So you need that manager on the right, absolutely. You know what? You also need another manager on the right and another manager on the left. You're going to help them get to director. So now you got 2 directors on the right and 2 directors on the left. You want a 3rd director on the right and a 3rd director on the left that you've personally enrolled. And you're going to help all of them go senior director, executive director, presidential director, senior presidential director. You want to have 6 business builders. Now I'm saying this is best case scenario, goal to the top, amazing. Yes, knocking it out of the park. This is what I want. If you don't want that, that's perfectly fine. But if you want that, if you want to maximize this compensation plan, your focus is to have 3 rock stars that you've personally enrolled on each leg. That is your focus. Okay. I learned that in a very early on video from Peter No, when he was talking about, your business builders in the gym. And he said, you want 1, and then you want 1 over here, 1 over here, 1 over here, 1 over here, 1 over here. You want to have 6 of them, and you want to have 7 and 8 and 9. Keep putting them back and forth. You never know who's going to do what. Maybe some will just get to manager and stay. Maybe some will go SPD. Maybe some will go ED and hang out there. But your balance in your business and unlocking all the levels of that gen match will depend on if you are balanced. Your pay will determine if you are balanced in your enrollments. Okay, you can stack over here all you want for the cycle, but what's going to happen whenever you get to 1,500 as a manager and you need a manager on your right, and you've sponsored all these incredible people on your left, and you're having a hard time finding one to go on your right for some reason? All of a sudden you're having a dry spell and you're like, oh my God. Okay, you want to get to director, so then you can unlock 2,500. But what happens when you get to director? And I've seen this happen. In my organization, I have seen this happen where people have maxed out that comp plan for the week. And I'm like, you got to get a person over here. I've also watched people not be able to unlock their 3rd level gen match because they didn't have a director on each leg that they personally enrolled that was cycling that 6 times per week. And so they're missing hundreds. And even honestly, I see this, thousands of dollars a month they're missing in that 3rd level. If you guys, yes, this is a binary, and yes, it does end up looking like a unilevel when people start growing and all this starts coming into the middle, right? It's incredible. But what happens is when it starts to take off, and where you guys are now and moving into director, senior director, really on the way from senior to executive, is where you really start to see that 3rd level gen match make a difference. Okay, you don't see it at manager. You don't see it typically at director, but when you're at senior and beyond, it gets big in your pay. And if you're not balanced, you won't get that 3rd level match. And if you look at the organization, if you're here and it starts doing this, and spanning, right? And it starts coming in and spanning out, coming in, right? Everybody's growing. That 3rd level gets really big. There's a lot of managers, a lot of people then that start popping directors at that third level. And it's like, whoa, you don't want to miss that third level gen match. So I want you to build it correctly. And I want you to focus on the forward thinking picture of, I want a rock star on each leg that I personally enroll. Don't care about the cycle. It's fantastic. I want it, but I'm thinking again for the future. I want those 2 rock stars that I've enrolled on each leg. That's because you really have to take your business in your own hands. Because what if, let's just say, what if the shared leg you were on, what if that person that you shared with, something happened, they weren't able to grow the business, focus on the business, and they're not adding anyone else, and you're like, well, my business is over, and they're not adding anybody. I put everybody on this leg. Now I'm completely lopsided. Right? And it may be that you're lopsided. It may be that you have banked volume on one leg. Brent has 5.5 million banked on his left leg. It's fine. It's okay, right? It's no big deal. We're growing our businesses. We're adding people. We're sharing with people. We're locking arms with people. But you still got to be that, right? You got to have that balance and that structure on both sides. What would be a good approach to invite people within a community where you live and have a community Facebook page? Is that okay to do? Yeah, it's absolutely okay. If you have a community Facebook page, you can definitely invite people to anything. You can create an event. It can be an online event. You can create an event on Facebook that you direct them to a place in person. You can invite anywhere. Absolutely. Definitely. When I say the lowest level, I mean the bottom. Okay, good. Bottom left or bottom right. How do you help them go manager if they aren't working? You don't.
I'm sorry.
You can't push a rope. Remember I said if they get there, maybe they're close or maybe they, they thought they did and then they're not. You want to remember this is 0 attachment. So your focus is, God, bring me the people that are ready to share, right? Bring me all the people. Like I'll take all the customers. I want all the customers, but I also want you to bring me the people that are ready to share. When they identify they're ready to share, you know how you know if they know? Because you invite them to a Zoom and you tell them, hey, feel free to invite a few friends that you care about. I know you're excited about using this technology. Feel free to invite a few friends that you care about. The key word is care. They care about people. Oh, they invite some people. Oh my gosh, you had your cousin on there and your sister. Fantastic. Oh, what did they think of it? Do they have any questions? Feel free to put me in a 3-way chat, or if you want to do a 3-way call or just a private Zoom with them, I'm happy to help answer questions that you have. Okay, so then they've identified themselves as someone that wants to share. Maybe they did identify themselves as that person, and then life happened, or maybe the weeds got them, right, as Jim Rohn says, or the birds ate them, or something. Who knows, right? They just fall off the face of the earth, and you're like, okay, hey, invite them, re-invite them to something again. I do 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 months. After that, it's quarterly. Like you can't push a rope, you guys. You don't want to try to force someone. You don't want to have that attachment to them being the one, because if you're so tight on holding on to this person, they said they would share and they haven't yet. And then you're missing the one that's waiting for you to let go of the attachment so they can come in and go boom and get it done in 2 hours, right? There are people out there right now searching. You just got to get your eyes open. Who is searching? I'm looking for the ones that are searching, and I'm going to just keep inviting them to Zooms and asking them to invite people that care and follow them back up and seeing where they're at. But if they're not going manager, they're not going manager. Like, if they're not working, they're not working. I can't put energy into something that doesn't want to reciprocate, right? I want to put energy into someone that says, I have questions. I don't want to bother you. And my key words are, you are never bothering me. I want to answer all your questions. You blow my phone up, I'm going to answer. If I don't answer immediately, I'm on a Zoom. I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done. Or maybe during the Zoom. I'm pretending like I'm listening. No, I'm always listening. I'm joking. But I want to make sure that I'm always there and present to help people that want the help. But if you don't, it's okay too. Everyone's working at their own pace, and we have to be respectful of their timing and where they're at. And just keep offering to invite them and plug them in and invite people that care. It makes it fun, you guys. I don't want to feel like this is a job where I'm trying to force people to do something so I can get to where I want to get, or so that I can, whatever. You just want to be receptive, like be in the receptive mode. This is why I talk about grounding all the time. Put your bare feet on the grass without a phone or anything else and just stand there in gratitude for all things great that God is giving us, giving you at this moment, your life, your family, all things, right? Gratitude attracts more things to be grateful for. And I promise you, I did this in my last company. We did this, Lindsay, Dean, right? Oh my God, every day, right? Laura would do it even though she wasn't on our team. I taught her grounding and we'd take pictures of our feet and we, get rid of our phones and we just stand there for 10, 15 minutes. If we're, we always, Dean and Lindsay and my whole group there back in Indiana, we'd work at Starbucks every day. And if we had issue, I'm not lying. If we're like, okay, we're getting close to crunch time here. We need this many more people, or we need this much more sales. We would go out in the parking lot of Starbucks, find a strip of grass that they had mowed, take off our shoes, and put our feet there on the side of the road and stand there until something clicked. Something came through from God. And we're like, that's it. Let's go. We've got it. Go back in. And boom, people would sign up. They'd call us. They'd text. We did it every day. We would go stand out. We'd be working from our homes. We'd say, that's it. Go out in the grass. We need to connect right now. We connected every night as a team of hundreds of people at the same time. We'd all go out, find a patch of grass, dirt, sand, mud, ice, snow, whatever, it did not matter, every single day. And we would just give 10, 15 minutes of gratitude and connection. And then the people just fall out of the sky. They fall out of the sky. When you're in a place of gratitude, you're a magnet. You really attract those people to you and they just walk up to you. And they just text you. I used to have a decal on the back of my car. People would text me, call me, hey, I'm driving behind you, not to be creepy weird, but could you pull over right now? I need that wrap that you've got right now. And I'm like, yeah, random on the side of the interstate. No problem. Let's pull over at this exit, whip out their credit card and place an order. I'm not joking. It happened all the time. You got to stay in that gratitude place. That's where it's a sweet spot and it's fun, right? Lindsay's like, yes. I love it. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? We got about 15 minutes. Yes, Monica, go for it, girl.
Really quick. You had mentioned something about the placement, and I think you were talking about being binary qualified. Is that what it is? If you put people on the left and the right, and you can stay, that's how to stay binary qualified?
You have to have one
Okay,
silver and one silver on the right, one silver on the left that are active, silver or above, that are active.
So that's what I was doing, but then I was also listening to Peter when he was talking about, he did a really quick compensation description on one of his podcasts, and he said, when you talked about shared leg, he says you want to put your first two people on the shared leg and then put your third and your fourth on your business builder leg, which is the lesser one, obviously, which it could be left or right. And could you explain his reasoning for that? Because I mean, he really didn't get into it, but why would you put the first and the second one on your shared leg and then go to the third and the fourth on your other leg?
I don't know why he would say that. That doesn't make sense to me. So
Yeah.
you want to put one right, one left, one right, one left, one right, one left, just bounce back and forth. If someone says to you, hey, I'm going to build this business. I'm ready to blow this out of the water. Like, let's go, let's do this, lock arms, partner. Then of course, look at your sides and determine, where do I need my next rock star? Okay. Say you're brand new. I tell people that are brand new, it doesn't matter. You need a rock star on the right and a rock star on the left. So I don't care which side you put them on. It's not going to matter. You want one on each side. So if someone identifies themselves like Laura Balzer on day one, I knew I needed a rock star on my left side. I knew it. That's why I had Lindsay on my right side, because I knew I wasn't going to do anything with Brent's business for a while, at least until I got to the top. So I'm like, rock star Laura on the left, rock star Lindsay on the right. That's what I did. Those are my first two people, right? They both identified themselves as someone that wanted to share. Okay. Then what I do, Rockstar Gayla came in underneath Lindsay, right? And then of course I, went from there and put my third person on the left, third person on the right. So I knew I would help those people, right? Lindsay and Gayla went manager, Laura went manager. Okay, great. Now let's go. What did I do, right? You look at when those people come in, where do you need people? But I don't do two on my shared leg and then two on my build leg. One right, one left. Get binary qualified, do it again. One right, one left. I want to teach people instantly to log into their back office, change settings, build left, enroll new from organization, change settings, build right, organization, enroll new. That's the behavior I want you to do over and over again.
Okay.
And then we have those
Okay, yeah.
conversations on every enrollment. You know, I talked to Heather yesterday. We talked for quite some time yesterday afternoon, and she goes, okay, this is where I'm at. I've got like, 7 really good people on my right. I've got 2 good on my left. I just put 4 or 5 more on my left. Right now I'm going to keep it there and, kind of watch where things are at and how it's growing. But I need to get people left ranking up beyond manager. My focus is getting this manager director and these new people to managers. I've got, a director and several managers over here. So, we just talk about that. And I said, I agree with that. I think that's perfect. That's where you're at right now. You need some more strong business builders on your left leg. Even though it's her shared leg, it doesn't matter, right? She knows that. I don't care it's shared. It's my left leg. I need more strong business builders on the left. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Do you think it would be easiest to do like what you said, to go in and change the settings, to build right, build left? Or I think somebody showed me how to go on to the binary tree and go all the way down to the bottom and then build there left and right.
No,
That doesn't work?
do not click boxes. No, I don't know if
Okay.
you heard that earlier or not, but I just went into somebody's back office a minute ago. It's a brand new manager, and they just clicked plus signs. And even though they thought they knew what they were doing, they have 3 people on the inside legs that can't be moved now. They're in wrong spots.
Okay, so when
Don't click boxes, and don't teach to click boxes.
okay, 'cause
Change
when you
settings, bottom right, bottom, it'll drop bottom. You can't mess it up.
Okay, that makes sense. So when you see bottom left plus box, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bottom left. It could be on the inside.
It could be if your spatial awareness is not correct, which most people's are not, unfortunately, when it comes to binary tree viewer. No
Okay.
offense, but when you first start looking at that thing, especially if you do have a shared leg where there's a lot going on down there, it can get confusing really fast. And you're like, wait, what? Where am I at? What's going on? So if you don't have that spatial awareness, which I appreciate those of you that are shaking your head, yes, because it is. I get it. It's very confusing. Laura and I spent a lot of time, and I highly recommend you do too, spend a lot of time in that back office in that tree viewer and clicking down through there and getting to understand, okay, so I came in on this left leg. Now I'm coming in on this left leg person's right leg. Where am I at in this tree? Work my way back up. Now work my way back down. It takes practice. You don't want to mess with clicking boxes, because you click in the wrong spot and then you're like, I've had it in people in my organization. I have a lady that had a director. She's like, I need him moved to the left leg. I put him on the left leg of somebody on my right leg. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we did everything, right? She offered to pay, compliance, the whole 9 yards. And they're like, no, sorry. It's been too long. He's a director. We're not moving him and everybody else. You know what that would do to commissions? We'd have to try to go back and refigure for months. No, he is where he is. Learn to do what you're supposed to do. Change the settings, build left or build right. Let the system do it for you, right? Yeah.
Dr. Stacy,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm one of the people that I feel you were talking about, not quite at manager yet. I'm 92% to a manager right now. And I'm literally 2 people away, an upgrade and 1 more person. But I am experiencing difficulty because I'm out there and I'm really trying and really putting a lot of effort into it. I'm not doing the gratitude thing, so I'm definitely going to try that. But besides that, none of the people that I have that I've signed are doing anything. So it's all just what I can bring on and what I can generate. So I'm trying to build and I'm trying to maintain them with what they need to do, because they're not maintaining reordering. They're not. I'm just kind of struggling in here, and I don't really know what I need to do to get on track, because I'm so close. I can feel it, I can taste it, but I want to help all these people. And I've got a lot of people I've spoke to and I've followed up with, and I've invited to patching parties, and I've sent your videos in case you missed the video, in case you couldn't jump on, and then it goes silent. They go mute, and I don't know what to do. So any and all advice would be appreciated.
Well, you're doing the right things with following up with them and sending them the information. And maybe it's just not their time right now. Who knows? Maybe it's finances, right? Maybe they just couldn't afford it this month or the last, who knows? So I don't ever push that envelope with people. Like I said, I'm a 2-day, 2-week, 2-month, and then quarterly. I'll follow up with
Okay.
them quarterly. Now, I use my project broadcast. I let my customers know when there's an upcoming Zoom or maybe some recordings of some recent Zooms so they can see kind of some things that have happened, like once a month. But as far as your focus would be to gather new people, would be to interest new people, whether it's through Facebook Messenger you're reaching out or whether it's through blitzing. I know I've been saying you do lots of blitzing, but your goal then would be, I would do the gratitude. And a great thing with gratitude is to be grateful for something as if it's already accomplished. So living in that moment of what that feels like already done and being grateful for that even before it's happened. Be grateful every morning, every day. God put the people in front of me that you want me to help. You're out blitzing, you're out talking to people. So who do you want me to put this information, in their hands? Who do you want me to patch? Who's in pain that I can put IceWave on today? And so just go about that with a state of gratitude that I know it's already done, even though you don't, but it is, right? And it's done and you feel it's done and you're so close to it being done. And so it's just reaching more people, the right people, like a numbers game. Like 1 out of 10 are going to say yes, 2 or 3 out of yet are going to say yes. The more we're out there and get proficient and confident in ourselves, which takes some time. But I think you should just continue with the activity of enrolling, right? And go for the no. go out there and say, okay, how many people am I going to have no's am I going to have to listen to before I get to yeses? I'm looking for, 5 yeses today. How many people do I have to talk to before I get to 5 yeses? So just keep doing what you're doing. It's the reach out right now for you. It's the meeting new people, connecting with new people, not trying to force the ones you currently have, but bless them in their journey where they are and be grateful for them. They did come in, right? They did, serve a purpose at this point, and hopefully they decide they want to purchase again in the future. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Sandy has a question. She's having a problem with customer service. They keep saying my director is still manager. They don't recognize 2 silvers and 1 manager is qualifying for a director. They still want him to have 3 silvers and a manager. I go back and forth with this on them. So Sandy, I'll have to look into your back office. Maybe you're talking about David, but send me maybe a little bit more detailed message on that because we only have a few minutes left and I can look into that. But your managers do count as your 3 silvers. So
I tell them all the time. And I've even done a screenshot and taken your the charts where we have, director at the top and 2 silvers and a manager. I've even emailed that to customer service and I'm like, he's a director. And they keep saying, no, he needs 1 more silver on the left side. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
Okay, so do me a favor, send me David's login information because I have yours, not his. Send me his login information. Let me look at it really quickly, double check. And if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to, then I'll just email it to VIP and let them take a look at it. Okay. Okay,
Thanks.
perfect. You're welcome. Okay, so Linda says, I keep getting members calling me irritated when they placed an order in a couple weeks, they get this type of message, in order to remain active, must be placed by 6/23. Okay, so they were, as far as I know, they have stopped those emails. Maybe 2-3 weeks now, they have not sent them. Has anyone received an email today or last Monday?
Yeah.
Dave, did you have someone receive an email today saying you need to place an order in order to stay active?
Yes, I did. My wife just received an email, right?
Yeah.
Saying you need to place an order.
Okay, forward it to
It's
me.
a man. Julie.
Okay.
It's not an email. It's on the back office.
Oh, well, yeah, the back office is going to tell you. Hang on. You got 2 people on. Okay, so the back office is going to tell you that, yes, you need to place an order. This is 6/10. So 6/23, you need to place an order, which is going to be by the end of next Sunday. So you don't need to order now, but the back office starts to put up a triangle that says, hey, you've got to make sure you're going to place an order next week. Okay. And so then next week's coming around and that triangle again is turning red and it's saying, hey, you need to make sure you place an order or you won't be commission qualified and active by Sunday.
So that's 13 days. And during that 13 days, I will get dropped from senior director to director to manager to unranked, because the people are saying, I'm not buying on every 30 days. I'm not buying every 2 weeks. And that's 2 weeks that it makes them very irritated and stressed, that they feel like they're losing out or something. I don't know. But I try to tell them, don't worry, it's just a system. It'll be okay. And they wait until the last minute. Some people wait until after they've lost all their points, and then they freak out. I've lost all my points. I said, put an order in and then you'll get the points back if you do it today. But it's that kind of nonsense that I don't need, and I don't think the system needs to do that to us.
Okay. So there has to be a way for them to let people know that for those of us, remember, brand partners are technically business builders. Okay. So we utilize the system of having our silvers and sometimes even golds, platinums, and diamonds as customers, but yet they're coming in under a brand partner pack in our tree. Okay. So let's say they're a customer. They've bought a gold pack. They don't need anything for a couple months, okay, which is fine. They just don't order. There's never any pressure for them to order. They don't need to order. They don't care about their points. They're just a customer, right? I never tell my customers, you got to order or you're going to lose your points. So if they're seeing that, just say, no big deal. That's just for those of us that are interested in sharing with others or building a business. That doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a one-time conversation. You say, hey, that's going to pop up every month. It's just for those of us that are sharing with others, growing a business. It doesn't apply to you as a customer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your job to diffuse that because it's really not a big deal. Now, for those of you that are a brand partner, I had a brand partner significant rank in my business last week. And I'm like, girl, did you not see this triangle? Last week it was yellow. This week it's red. Your points just flushed. She's like, oh my God, how did that happen? Her card had declined because she had to get a different card and she didn't realize that her auto ship didn't process. And she's like, oh my God, I had no idea that it declined and didn't go through. I forgot all about what card I had on this account. So, I think it's important that we do have the triangles. If I hadn't seen her triangle, I wouldn't have even really paid attention, but I was in her back office because I was looking at something else for her. And I'm like, hello, you were a red triangle. You lost all your points. So it's important that it's there as a warning sign for those of us that are, because technically brand partners are supposed to be all business builders. They just allow us the ability to be able to not have them all be business builders on our tree so we can benefit from that and not have to deal with half the volume as a customer. So it's a minor thing, I think, right?
No.
Okay.
Major.
You might have to enroll quite a while before you find a builder. Maybe not. You might though, Sharon, you might, right? It just depends. What are your intentions? Okay. Yeah. All right. So customer service, green check for someone that had been in the yellow. So there was taken out of rank on my screen. Customer service is green check. CS told me they see a yellow triangle. If you guys ever see any discrepancies like that, just let me know. Okay. Just send it to me and let me take a double check at it. Just because, I've just seen a lot of different variances through the last few years. So I'm always happy to reach out for you guys, to VIP or your upline SPD will always reach out to your, VIP. All SPDs have VIP access, so we can call them or email. I personally don't have time to get on the phone because I'm usually back-to-back Zoom. So let me look at it real quick and send it on through email. Okay. So if you guys have any other questions, anything else, I'm glad we could use this time to really brainstorm and really get through things that you needed. I'm excited for those of you guys which you all are sharing and growing. You're out there doing patching parties and events and blitzing. I love seeing your pictures. I think it's fantastic. That you guys are doing what you're doing and staying consistent with it. You're here, doing the work and it's making a big difference. Just understand that consistency is what's going to get you there, right? It's not just a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months that happen. There's those of us that have been on here, Gary, Leah, Laura, 3 years, Jody's over 2 years, and Susan and Alicia 3 years, so we're all here consistently growing and sharing and building. And it takes time. Sometimes it takes time to find those rock stars. Sometimes it takes time to find those, people that want to lock arms with you. And it's okay. And sometimes, and we all have experienced this, those of us that have been in for a while, you find great people and you keep finding great people and you keep locking arms with great people along the way. And maybe you personally enrolled them, but maybe you didn't. Maybe they come through someone like Lillian, right? Lillian came through a lady that I enrolled as a customer, then another lady that came through and another lady that came through, and then here comes Lillian, right? You never know, right? I look at Elizabeth. I enrolled Elizabeth, and Gloria enrolled Elizabeth, and somebody else, or Gloria enrolled somebody who enrolled somebody who enrolled somebody who enrolled Elizabeth. So you just don't know where the people are going to come from. And it doesn't matter. We're here to work with anyone and everyone. Just be open to the people that come in, and you never know when they're going to bring you in someone that wants to share and grow and build. And it's just lock arms with people. The consistency is going to get you there. Remember the compound effect? It just builds, 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 and it snowballs. Just like the patches, just like the peptides, it builds and it snowballs. And the longer you share and the more consistency in that sharing, the bigger it grows. And you turn around, you're like, what? I'll never forget the day we looked at Charlene at the last leadership retreat, and we're like, girl, you have almost 1,000 people in your organization. No, that was I take that back. That was back in Cancun. That was in Cancun, sitting out by the pool, and where she's like, what? I have almost 1,000 people in my organization. I've only been doing this since September, October. And I'm like, yeah, look what's happened, right? And now it's double that in just a matter of 2 months. That's the compound effect. That's the compound effect. So stay consistent with it. You guys will get it. I know you will. Absolutely. Your enrollees will be matching your energy, vibrate at a high frequency. Yes, 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 yes. I love it. Okay. Dr. J, you have something?
Yes, thank you. I, as a physician, I have a credit card machine in my office, and I take HSAs. I know the system doesn't. I don't want to red flag myself. What?
They do. They do take HSAs. It's dependent on the HSA company.
Yeah, 1 out of 10 so far, straight
Okay.
up.
Okay.
I did do the chat on the website, and they said they don't take HSAs or ISAs. I don't know what ISA is, but anyway, long short of it is I have no problem using my credit card on the LifeWave website and using their HSA in my office.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got my credit card on, I'd say 12 different accounts, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I used it, it didn't work. And I didn't know if that was like a warning shot over the bow of your credit card is on too many accounts, or is that ridiculous to feel that way? I've heard of people losing their accounts because of doing things naughty, and I don't know if they think I'm doing something naughty or not.
I mean, technically, we're not supposed to have our card on other people's accounts. They've never enforced that. I have my card on lots of people's accounts. So I also use my PayPal, so my card isn't on their account. I'll do
Okay.
that. If I need to place an order, for 55 BV somewhere, I'll just use my PayPal. I don't know that they flagged it. I would try it one more time and see, try it one more time and see if it works. If it doesn't, maybe it's like, I don't know. Or can you go
I
back
just don't want my account to disappear.
well, they won't just have your account disappear. They'll send you a warning. Compliance would have
Okay.
already sent you a warning saying, hey, you can't do this. This is against compliance. And they would have quoted whatever policy it actually was that you're not
Okay.
supposed to be doing that. Yeah.
So,
That happened to me. I
Okay.
was contacted by compliance saying that my card was on accounts of people that I signed up, and you couldn't have it there. I mean, we can't sign up our people underneath us. That makes sense. That would be,
Yeah.
not ethical. But yeah, they said you can't have your card, whether they're signed up underneath you or not, on your account if you're both brand parties. Even if you're coming from two different, people that sign you up, you can't have it. So I was told not to.
There have been some people in the past that abused it, unfortunately, not on our team. But They might be enforcing it now. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. You just go to delete it. You just go into their account, click on their name and click on settings, and you can click on the option that says payments, and you can delete your payment off of there. And you can always put it back on when you place an order and turn around and delete it again. Not trying to tell you how to cheat the system.
Would you be scared to call customer service and ask that question? Would that be the most direct and
I would
way to
not
do it?
that.
I
No,
would not do
I would not do that. Do not do that.
That would be red flagging myself.
That would be red flagging yourself.
would-
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I was kind of nervous about. So just do it. If it doesn't work, then stay away from it.
Yeah.
Try a different card.
Fair enough.
Or try a different card.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, last thing on the trip points, they didn't start counting on the 29th of April. I don't have the first 2 weeks on my widget, but it showed I was qualified as manager. They did start counting on the 29th. I do see stuff in mine from that first part. They are behind. So think of our commission payouts. Okay. So the week we just finished is not even yet officially official, right? So last week, not even official in commissions. The week before that, we technically don't get paid until tomorrow on that. So the week before, not this last week, but the week before that, those points haven't showed up yet because we haven't been paid on that week yet. We will get paid on that week tomorrow, and then the points will update on Wednesday. Okay. So we're 2 weeks behind right now based on the points. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys. Sorry we went over a little bit. If you need things, anything at all, let me know. Reach out to your upline SPDs. I do have Dr. Jerry on tomorrow night, and then Wednesday night we have our business training. So get those two in your calendar, and I'll see you guys there. And Pat, if you need something else, just send me a message. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Good night.